Hey there, haven't seen you in a while. May it's been almost a month, if I'm not mistaken. So today, let's continue our journey. Yeah, and me remind to you and to myself what are we doing here. We are doing here. What we are doing here is as a reminder bot. It reminds us some stuff. It parses our message that we sent him. Check it out. So like in 10 seconds remind me or something, or 10 seconds blah blah blah. So there were some kind of usage, yeah, like this. So it's like you can use certain data, right? And I mean a certain date, like tomorrow or in n of something, whatever. Yeah. So, and if I'm not mistaken, we have stopped on doing this this thing. We were doing our reminder service and our reminder storage. At the moment, we have our reminder storage in our memory, but today I think we're gonna implement some kind of database for that, because it's been too long for not having a database. Yeah. So what are the ways of implementing our own database? Basically, there are two ways at the moment. That's the first way is having the Docker and like stop the base as usual by installing. Yeah. So the second option, well, that's something not so modern. So we're gonna use Docker here. Yeah, just because it's pretty much popular, and it's really easy to use. So let me. So what's Docker? Yeah. Long story short, that's a lightweight virtual machine. So common virtual machines, they are they virtualize hardware. Well, Docker virtualize this software, so it builds its own operation system using your own, the core of yours. Usually that's Linux or something. So like 99% of Docker usage, it's something about Linux. So for example, we have Docker Desktop. That's an application for Windows, and under the hood, it uses like a regular virtual machine or VSL too, in case if you have enabled this. Okay, so let's do the thing. I'm gonna create a file. It's called Dockerfile. It describes like here Docker. Let's install Docker, by the way. Well, just for better support, so we could use it inside our IDE. That's comfortable. Yeah. But to be honest, we don't need that at the moment. We don't need Dockerfile, but I'll show you something at least. So usual Dockerfile starts with the like from, and after that we put some kind of image name. Image name is just a description for Docker image. Yeah, that's the name. So let me find you something like so. For example, you wanna okay, it's for example we wanna set up our system for Ubuntu, right? So let's for a start, for start, let's just create a Dockerfile for our pod. So let's pretend it's gonna be be started from Docker, and that's true. It's gonna be okay. So for example, we're gonna Ubuntu. So by this line, we say that uh, you can't, right? Yeah, you can't use comments, well, in the same line as you can see. Okay, just it's fine. Yeah, so just we start from clean version of Ubuntu. Oh, usually Ubuntu isn't used here because that's way too heavy. So usually they use something like called Alpine. That's a special Linux distribution with a very light, body. So it's better for your Docker containers. It doesn't take much space. Okay, so let's say we wanna use our Ubuntu. So what do we need to start our application? I mean, this one. Of course, we need Java. So for Java install, we can run just a command. So how do we install Java? So it would be something like apt install OpenGDK 11. I don't know. Let's just Google that. Apt install Java. How to install Java in Ubuntu version. Yeah, something like that. But not GUI, but GDK. Yeah, so that's how we install, and we should use this flag. I'll just say yes. So let's just run it. And okay, image tag, fine. I'm fine with it. So now our Docker, well, as you can see, it's it's downloading our image, and yeah, it says it cannot locate our GTK image because obviously there are no such. Oh, there are like another reason, because we need update. No, apparently because of that. Because whenever you install fresh Linux systems, it doesn't. It's it isn't updated. So we have to index our repositories. Well, you get me. I hope. So, but to be honest, no one does that. I mean, it's there are like zero reasons of doing everything like that, because you can. So there are like Docker, Alpine, Java, yeah. So you can just use pre-built image from, well, it's kind of official from, well, OpenGDK guys, and you can use it like, I guess, you can see tags here, and it's gonna be something like Alpine 017 and etc. etc. So maybe that's 11 Alpine. Said okay, just 11. Yeah, and you can find here Jira Slim. You can see how lightweight it is, because as you can see, there is like 73 megabytes, right? But something like Ubuntu weights way more, if I'm not mistaken, like latest. Oh, it's pretty lightweight at the moment, but maybe it's not. So, yeah, it's pretty lightweight, because I used to think that it that it has way more inside of it. But let's compare with the Alpine. So Alpine takes, well, as you can see, it's 10 times difference. Okay, so maybe it's already done, but apparently it's not. Because, well, yeah, it's... Yeah, and as you can see, well, GDK Slim, yeah, it's the right thing. GDK Slim used to weight, I mean, is weight something like 80 megs. Okay. Yep. GDK, OpenGDK. Because it's optimized by, well, because of, yeah, so as you can see, it's E Slim. Okay, so GDK Slim weights like 200 of max, and it's already, as you can see, there are more, like, I guess. Okay, so it's like that's just don't use this, what I have written, because that's just for demonstration purposes. Need to use that, and here we just install our dependencies. Yeah, so for example, whenever we install that, I don't know, but somehow this thing maybe stopped, or yeah, maybe it stopped because, well, just no mind. Okay, and after that we can copy something like from our uh, target. We can copy something like Telegram bot snapshot here, and we can just oh, as you can see, it goes on. No, I don't care. Okay, so and the final thing gonna be CMD. That's basically a thing that tells us that whenever this uh, container of this image starts, it runs this command. So and it's, yeah, so the syntax is pretty much simple. It's gonna be Java jar, yeah, and well, just, yeah. So that just like that. Let's check out if it's gonna work. So it caches all this. So it's every single line of this Docker file. That's a layer, and it Docker caches layer. If it's not changed, it's, well, the Docker is not gonna run it again. So as you can see, we passed this step by using cache. So that's pretty much thing. Yeah, so it's built, right? And oh, it's even sparring Hazel. Yeah, so I haven't used very much this interface of IDEA. Usually I use console for that. So I'm not sure about. So it's container ID is here, and that should be like, oh, so let's start the container, and yeah, so yeah, whenever it starts, it says that our jar is bad. Well, just because we haven't set up our jar yet, it doesn't have any manifest there, so that's just a garbage at the moment. But if we would done this right, it would be running. And as you can see, this thing is like copy necessary data, just initial command. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty easy thing. And the way, the reason it exists is just you can run this thing like in any kind of environment. Whenever if there is Docker, you can run this thing. Well, in most of cases. So at the same architecture, at least. Sorry for my pronunciation. Okay, so at all the x86 architecture arcs is gonna run, and like you don't need to care about the environment, because this is pretty well easy thing about something like, I imagine, like Oracle Dockerfile example, something like that is gonna, well, let me find something. Yeah, something like that is really huge, and like image yourself like setting up this thing by yourself, how many possible variables you have to match to make it run. Yeah, but this thing guarantees you that it's gonna behave in the very same way. Yeah, so and there are like way huger Dockerfiles I have seen. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically what Docker is. Let's just but we were talking about setting up database. For setting up things like that, we don't need to write our own Docker files in most of the cases. So let's Docker Docker Postgres. So we're gonna use Postgres, right? Docker Hub Postgres. So and just for that, we can just so that's Docker Compose. We aren't there yet. So that's basically the thing. So let me explain you what does it do. But unfortunately my Docker doesn't work here, I suppose. Docker PS. Yeah, it doesn't work here. So let me think for a while what we're gonna do. Maybe we're gonna use CMD. So does it run Docker? Yeah, it does. So yeah. Funny thing. I would never had thought about this thing, that I'm gonna use Docker from CMD, but okay. Yeah, clear doesn't work. So let me just check out how to clear. Alt F7, not a common history, but in there. Oh no. Yeah, that what happens when you try to read like really fast. Yeah, screw you. Okay, that's some clear. Yeah. Escape. Control C. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do the thing. Okay, so let's pretend there are no such a command. I'm not gonna look that for. Yeah, it sucks. Okay, so let's run it one more time. So I mean line by line. So the first thing we're gonna type is gonna be docker run. right? I'm gonna put the flag D. It means diamond, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it basically says Docker that we're gonna run the mm, uh, run the container like in the background. Actually, I removed that just for. So let's send the name gonna be like just Postgres. That's gonna be the name container. It's optional. You might not put that, but you better do. So, and this thing is passing environment variables. I mean, well, it's just passing environment variables. So they are like predetermined by the the Dockerfile by the thing they set up there. So this is gonna be our password. So let's just use password. It's one of the most secure passwords I know. So and this thing says that and what does it say? This optional variable can be used to define another location for the database files. Yeah, the default is blah blah blah. So let's not use that. We don't need it yet. Okay, and well, and this thing, yeah, and this line it says that Docker should use volume. So in usually Docker doesn't provide any state. So any of your containers, their state is connected to their container. If you delete the container, you delete the state. Or if you stop the container, you might delete the state as well. But there are like a concept called volumes, and this concept helps you just to create some consistent values, volumes. Yeah, and it's optional as well. So let's not do this at this moment, because why not? Why should we do this? Okay, and the last thing is Postgres, and you can put a version, latest. Put version after those commas. Yeah, that's all. So basically, if you run this thing, something is happening. Yeah, I already have Postgres downloaded, but yeah, so that's all. Our database is created. We don't have to install anything, so we can just use. So and there is one more thing. Usually I use ultimate version of the Intellij IDEA. I use the community version only in the educational purposes, because I assume that most of you who might watch this video, you don't have an ultimate version because it costs some money, etc., etc. So, but here I'm facing the issue that I don't know how to show you database. Maybe there is no database plugins, because obviously they're not gonna run. But what I have is pgAdmin, I guess. Yeah, but I'm not sure what's there at the moment. Yeah, and after some magic, I'm here. So let me just, yeah, the heck? Why are you doing this? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Why not? So we're gonna use Chrome for that mm, because so this thing called it's called pgAdmin or whatever. Yeah, and yeah, here you can just create your server. All you need to just name test. Connection is gonna be our local host. Port gonna be 5432. It's the default port for Postgres. Database Postgres. Username is Postgres. Password is password. Save password. Yeah, save. Okay, and it says unable to connect to server. And let's check why. So the main thing that is lacking here is this thing. I thought that's this flag, this P letter stands for port, but that's not the port. So just like you can check it by yourself. So and just map ports 1 to 1. So basically, you put your this is your outer port, and this is your inside port. So basically, you say that you want a Docker to publish this. Yeah, it's called publish, I guess. Yeah. The thing is publish. So you say Docker just publish this port of your container into this port of my machine. That's all. Yeah, so let's run it one more time. Yeah, and I have to remove the yeah. So let's just remove Postgres because it, as you can see, it doesn't allow us to create this image with the same name. Yeah. So now our server is up one more time. We press save here, and we can see that it's unable to connect to server one more time. Maybe we should use this thing. No, it's unable to. But why? Why would you be unable? Okay, so let's just use telnet. And as you can see, it's pretty much connectable. So why wouldn't you connect? Maybe because of Postgres. Is there something like debug? You would connect to server. It even doesn't say anything. As you can see, there should be something after that. Maybe there's gonna be something in our network. Yeah, it says unable to connect to server, but there is no additional results. Fine. Somehow disable search tunnel, no advanced connection test servers background connect now. Maybe I should update this, but I'm not sure that's the thing. What else? Create server connection localhost 5432 name save. Yeah, no, yeah, that's save, and now it works because, well, what the heck is that? What's Twitch? Why is it here? Maybe it's some other database. Because, well, I remember I used to have this data. Oh yeah, I got it. So it's, yeah, it's my old project. It stands here. So as you can see, I connected by some kind of magic, yeah, or something. You can see here it's a lot of tables. Yeah, I should have cleaned everything here. Yeah, so but as you can see, we could have connected here, right? So it works pretty much fine. Yeah, so so what's our mission here? Uh, let's think about our database scheme. So imagine that now we are able to connect to the database and we are able to run tab. So now we have to create our schema. Yeah, let's just yeah, usually I put that in the resources, but let's do it one more time. So yeah, it says that those files are not supported here. Yeah, not suggest ultimate. Yeah, so and yeah, there are no auto completion here. Okay, so if I were you, if I wouldn't have a nice tool for that, I would just get to the Google and I would say like Postgres online, Postgres online modeler, pg modeler, yeah. So we're gonna use just our, although it looks pretty bad. It's not online. Yeah, it's like downloading. I don't want to download anything. Okay, so like database modeling. I wouldn't find a tool that would allow me try modeling. It might ask me to sign up. I want to find a tool that might allow me to model my database, and after that I would just export that. So so new project. Yeah, so seems pretty much, yeah, I'm seeing this tool at the first time, so let's just diagrams, a table, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be share. Okay, so let's pretend this is already fine. So what data do we have? We have like our model, have our parsing result, our reminder. So the main thing here is saving just reminders. We don't need anything except for that, except for users, actually, because I remember in our last time we like didn't. Oh, we have our user here, so it's fine. Uh, yeah, we have our user here. So let it be just reminders. So our gonna be our ID UID. Yeah, that's UID is basically this thing. Yeah, that's random generated string like that. Pretty much unique. Use this as ID in your applications for many reasons. We're not gonna talk about that now. Okay, so our primary key is gonna be this thing, shouldn't be here. And column name gonna be like let be user ID. Big int. So remind time. Gonna be something like time stamp with time zone. Message. Will be varchar, maybe 500. That's a length, so it means that here we can store up to 500 symbols. I mean, not symbols, but bytes, if I'm not mistaken, but who cares? Just put as much as you want to. Well, except for some cases when you're gonna like optimize very small things in your database to make it to make the performance better, but that's not the case at the moment at all. So just don't care about this thing. And I'm gonna be is finished. Boolean. Yeah, and all of them are necessary, right? Yeah, we can't. Yeah, that's right. So we have our. So for indication purpose, let's add other tables. Let's call that user. User is gonna be ID. It's gonna be big end. Column name gonna be like name or char 500. Yeah, and add relationship to this thing. Hey, it's already there. I've done something. So this is gonna be this, right? Oh no, what are you doing? Not that kind of relationship. So I want this ID. No, this ID to be related with this table. But okay, this primary key. Okay, let's edit. Click on shell table to complete any relationship. Okay. So this thing gonna be related to this thing. And let's name it as user ID. And I'll delete this thing. Yeah, so that's user ID. Yeah. So if you aren't familiar with databases, relational databases, what's primary key, what's foreign key, just spend 10 minutes in Google and you'll find out. So that's very simple. So now we have tables. I'm not sure about reason of having this one, but just for educational purposes, nothing more. So now we have pretty much our table. Yeah, that's should be everything, I guess. Because, well, what else do we need here? Well, whenever we want to add something, we can just add it. Okay, so and let's save. Yeah, it will ask me to sign up. And oh my god. Give me a moment. Yeah, so basically that was a catch of these resources. Yeah, so that's pretty much almost everything. Percent. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it should be pretty much everything. But where is my projects? Don't say that you dashboard. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. Save. Share. And how can I export that into a code? Main menu. Mm, to yeah. Forward engineer. That's the name of the button. That's odd since I am the one. Yeah, and it creates for us pretty much solid script. So it basically just describes everything we have here. So maybe there are some issues with the naming because there are some best practices about that. Like don't use ever such a name like just an ID. It always should be rewind ID. So let's just change it right now because I think it's pretty much a good thing. And funny thing, but references user, but where is user? Because I see only one create table, so it's foreign key user that maybe, well, it's just references for an index. No, it shouldn't do because we have, besides that, we have our user table. Yeah, index is fine, but reference is what? We don't have a table called user. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it does something bad, I think. So let's do that one more time. So we have all tables, create, database, main, so generate, and it creates just a user ID. Okay, let me check one more time maybe. No, we have a name here. So what, why is it? Maybe it should be does like that. Save, generate. No, nothing has changed because I selected all of, and you can see there are like both tables here. Yeah. Okay. Let it be. And so as you can see, because I don't have any kind of database integration, this ID, I can check it by, because ID usually allows you to check. stuff like that. Mm, just something really odd is going on here. Mm. Yeah, and it like, okay, let's check out this thing for save, run. Yeah, that's something odd because as you can see, when both of them are selected here, we get only one table on the I just forget it. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, so we can run it in our database. And we can use that after all. So that's pretty much it. In our next lessons, I think we're gonna redo this thing. I mean, we're gonna re-implement our interface. Here you can see that it's inside, well, in memory basically. So whenever you restart your application, the things just flash out. So, but with this thing, we're gonna have, well, our pretty much solid and stateful uh, reminders. Yeah, so that's, it can be told in 47 minutes. So stay tuned for the next parts. Thank you.